The tension was palpable as Elara and her team prepared for the Syndicate's impending offensive. The intelligence they had gathered revealed a meticulously planned assault that aimed to cripple the Alliance's ability to respond effectively. The Syndicate's strategy involved coordinated attacks on supply lines, communication networks, and critical infrastructure, all designed to create chaos and confusion. In the command center, Elara was surrounded by her core team and allied forces, all working tirelessly to implement their counter strategy. The atmosphere was charged with a sense of urgency. Maps and schematics of key targets covered the walls, and holographic displays flickered with real-time data and projections. The team's mission was clear: protect their assets, disrupt the Syndicate's plans, and maintain their operational integrity. Dr. Hale and Dr. Callahan focused on fortifying the communication networks. They deployed advanced encryption protocols and redundancy systems to ensure that their lines of communication remained secure and operational. The Syndicate's attacks on communication infrastructure were anticipated, and the team's efforts were crucial in preventing any potential breaches or failures. Meanwhile, the logistics team worked on securing and rerouting the supply lines. They anticipated that the Syndicate would attempt to sabotage their resources, so they implemented several layers of protection and backup plans. Mobile supply units were stationed at strategic locations, ready to respond to any disruptions or attacks. As night fell, the Syndicate's offensive began. The first wave of attacks targeted the supply depot. Elara's team had anticipated this and had set up defensive measures. The attackers, however, were relentless and highly skilled. Their use of advanced technology and tactics posed a significant challenge. Explosions and fires lit up the night sky as the Syndicate's forces launched their assault. Elara, Dr. Hale, and Dr. Callahan coordinated their efforts from the command center. They monitored the situation through surveillance feeds and deployed rapid response teams to the affected areas. The battle was intense, with skirmishes erupting across multiple fronts. The Syndicate's forces were well organized and determined, but the Alliance's defenses held firm. Despite their best efforts, the Syndicate managed to breach a few key positions. The damage was significant but not catastrophic. The Alliance's quick response and resilience prevented the situation from spiraling out of control. Elara's team worked tirelessly to mitigate the damage and counter the Syndicate's advances. In the midst of the chaos, Elara received a distress signal from one of the mobile supply units. They were under attack by a heavily armed Syndicate squad, and their position was compromised. Without hesitation, Elara led a team of operatives to assist. The battle was fierce, with intense firefights and tactical maneuvers. As they reached the beleaguered unit, Elara and her team engaged the Syndicate forces. The fight was brutal, but the Alliance's superior training and coordination turned the tide. They successfully repelled the attackers and secured the supply unit. The team's quick response and bravery ensured that the critical resources were preserved. Back at the command center, Dr. Callahan analyzed the data from the ongoing battle. The Syndicate's tactics were evolving, and their attacks were becoming more coordinated. It was clear that the Syndicate was adapting to the Alliance's defenses and seeking ways to overcome them. With this insight, Elara and her team adjusted their strategy. They focused on identifying and targeting the Syndicate's command structures and communication networks. Disrupting the Syndicate's coordination was crucial to weakening their overall effectiveness. As the battle raged on, the Syndicate's offensive continued to test the Alliance's resolve. Each wave of attacks brought new challenges, but the Alliance's forces remained steadfast. The defensive measures and counter-strategies implemented by Elara's team played a vital role in containing the damage and maintaining operational continuity. The night wore on, and the battle showed no signs of easing. Elara, exhausted but determined, continued to coordinate the response from the command center. The Syndicate's forces were relentless, But the alliance's resilience and adaptability were equally formidable. In the early hours of the morning, the Syndicate's attacks began to taper off. Their forces, having encountered significant resistance and setbacks, started to withdraw. The Alliance's counter-offensive had been successful in repelling the major threats and minimizing the damage. As the immediate threat subsided, Elara and her team conducted a thorough assessment of the situation. The damage was considerable, but their defensive efforts had prevented a catastrophic outcome. The Syndicate's offensive had tested their capabilities, but it had also provided valuable insights into their enemies' strategies and weaknesses. Elara took a moment to reflect on the battle. The experience had been a stark reminder of the ongoing conflict and the stakes involved. The Syndicate's capabilities and tactics were evolving, and the Alliance's response needed to remain agile and adaptive. The aftermath of the battle was a time for regrouping and recovery. The Alliance focused on repairing the damage, replenishing supplies, and reinforcing their defenses. The lessons learned from the recent offensive would inform their future strategies and preparations. In the coming days, Elara and her team continued to analyze the data and plan their next moves. The Syndicate's actions had underscored the need for ongoing vigilance and innovation. The fight against the Syndicate was far from over, and the road ahead would be fraught with challenges. The battle had tested their mettle, but it had also strengthened their resolve. The Alliance's commitment to protecting their world and advancing their cause remained unwavering. The struggle against the Syndicate was a testament to their courage, resilience, and determination. As Elara looked ahead, she knew that the fight was far from over. The Syndicate's offensive was just one chapter in a larger and ongoing struggle. The future was uncertain, but the Alliance's dedication to their mission and their unity in the face of adversity were their greatest strengths. The journey continued, and the story of Elara and her team's struggle was one of perseverance and hope. Each challenge they faced was met with determination and ingenuity, driving them forward in their quest to safeguard their world and secure a brighter future.